Good afternoon, y'all, and welcome back to Apron Strings. Maybe I better welcome me back because it's been about a week. I've been busy, y'all. I've been cleaning that backyard. I need to take the camera back there and show you about 10 or 12 huge piles of leaves I've raked up after I get in from work, and then over the weekend I did a lot. And I've got some stuff planted, and I've got a lot more plans. I might take the camera out there because my grandson is building me a fence to fence off the chickens where they can't get into my garden. And let's run out there and look at that, and then we'll come back in. And I'm hungry for something I can make cornbread to go with. So I'm gonna make a old-fashioned goulash like my mama used to make. There's not really a recipe. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to put together. But let's take the camera and go out back and let y'all see what I've done. And then in about a month, I'll do another one and show you what it looks like a little bit later. Okay, I just stepped out the door, and I'm just going to give y'all a little panoramic here, and then we'll look at a few things. Troy's got the ladder there because the boys are going to get up there and blow the leaves out of the gutter. I've got a couple of those mumbo or whatever their name is ferns that I picked up at Kroger, and I love those. I mean at Walmart, and I love those things. So I've got them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, but for right now I've just got a few things sitting here where it won't look so empty. That is Rose of Sharon that I rooted, and I'm ready to transplant it. I'm proud of it. I've got some things in my green stock. This is parsley, and I want to show y'all my strawberries. Look, I've got berries, and I've already been eating some. I'm going to fertilize them, and I think they'll do a whole lot more. Got a bunch of little ones right here, see? I've got some more green stalks, and I'm going to totally fill this one with strawberries, and then I don't know what I'm going to put in the others. I don't know what's going to go in here. That's just some flowers that I'm going to put somewhere. Probably some kind of herbs will go here. I've got a couple of rosemary bushes right down here that I'm going to plant. My rosemaries that I've had for years froze in this wintertime. This is bee balm that came back from last year. I'll be glad when it blooms. It hasn't bloomed for me, and it blooms a pretty blue flower, and I'm wanting that. This is my bay laurel tree right here. And I don't know what's wrong with it. It's got a lot of dead leaves on it. I'm going to have to fertilize it and work around it. And that's a little running rose down there that makes the most beautiful little bitty dark red rose. And I've got some potted in this pot right here. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, but I'm going to put it on something where it can get a hold of it and cover it. In this big pot, I have a basil. Some more 4 o'clocks that volunteered and came up in that pot, so I moved it over here where I'll have some color in among everything. This is African blue basil that I rooted, and it's kind of spindly because it's needed to be planted, but I wanted to wait till after the last frost for sure, so it'll take hold and go. Then I just got some zinnias planted in this one that I bought because I'm impatient, and then I've got some more that I've scattered around in their seed. Now, I had 3 of my lavenders that made it through the frost, and I covered everything. And I planted Vinca in there just to be pretty, but I'm going to show y'all. Remember, just a minute. See these long black cattle feeder things? They're breaking down. So we're getting them out of here, but my lavender was in this first one, so that's where it was last year. This is new to me. This is ginger mint, and I'm anxious to try it. I'm going to make kombucha, and I'm going to second ferment it and put some of that in it and see if it'll taste like the GT's gingerade. I'm just going to give it a try. Then my friend brought me some that she had grown from seed. There's some dill down there and some thyme. I'm going to let it get a little bigger, and then I'm going to get it planted. Over here, try not to make you dizzy, I have lantana coming back, and my butterfly bush is coming back, and lots more lantana here that some of it the birds planted and some of it I planted. Okay, and then if you'll look, I've got, remember I told y'all I planted that tomato? And the chickens ate the leaves off of it? Well, This is one that they didn't eat, and then the ones that they did are putting some more leaves on. So I went ahead and came over here and potted them, and we'll see what they do. See how these are breaking down the plastic? The sun's just gotten to it, and you can get new liners for these frames. So we're not going to just throw them away. We're just going to stack them back there somewhere in case we ever want to put liners on them and use them again. Then I've got thyme over here in this one that's got to be moved out. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but that's all thyme. Look at those 4 o'clocks that came back from seed. I'm just so proud of them. This is some more African blue that I rooted. I hope it takes root. It looks kind of pitiful, don't it? And then all along there, in those little pots, let's see. The first one is where I had the tomato planted, and see the others that have, looks like several in there. It is. Cindy had a bunch that she dropped, and she didn't know what they were, and there was several to the thing, so I just put them all in there, and we're just going to let them do whatever they want to do. And if they make tomatoes, that'll be great, and I'm sure they will. But I'm just going to leave, there's four to the pot there, which is too much, but that's what I'm going to do this time. Not sure what I'm going to plant in these beds, and I've got those 2 ovals that are going to go here in the middle when we get rid of this. So I'll bring y'all back when we get these out of here and I get started. Okay, this is just coming around from the back door. I showed y'all around here. This is my little sitting area where we have our tables. We sit out here and visit, and sometimes I'll bring food out here and we'll eat a meal here. This is a lot of the plants that I had in my greenhouse, and y'all, they survived and did well. Now, I did trim some dead leaves off of them. A lot of these are flowers that are left from my son-in-law's funeral service. This one is from my brother's funeral several years ago, and I've managed to keep it alive. But I was real proud of how all of these look. I've got some more over there by those chairs. This is another one that weathered the greenhouse over the winter. And look at my Peggy Martin rose. It's just a blooming. I love it. And then I'm going to walk over there and show y'all in a minute. I've got blackberries on my vines. This is my Malabar spinach coming back from seed. A split leaf philodendron that comes back every year, and this is another one of the plants that I brought out of the greenhouse. And y'all, look at these elderberries. I potted them because they came up in my front yard, and they are doing fantastic. And now there's about 10 more out there that I'm going to go dig up and pot. Somebody will want one. I'll share. See the blooms down here on my blackberries, and I don't see them right now, but I've got little bitty, you can tell it's going to make blackberries. My vines are not full and big yet, but I'm going to have my first few berries this year, and I'm excited about it. And all over my yard, there's little piles and big piles like this right here that I've raked up. I've got, and see, because of all the water and the cold and all the leaves, all my grass is gone, but I really don't mind. I may just put some gravel down and over here too and not worry about it. But I've got another Peggy Martin right there that I rooted. And then I have a lot of tomatoes, just like I did last year, planted in these pots with basil here. More tomatoes, more basil. Oh, I've got some ladies in there that are wanting to talk. Let's see. Hey, girls. Hey, ladies. That's a tin rooster right there. My son-in-law surprised me with that one year for Christmas. Okay, now here's what I'm going to do. I'm telling you, everything's a mess out here. See these posts that Richard has set? I'm going to have a fence from the edge of my coop over to the wood fence there. And then they're going to go from the coop over here. See, that's my potting area back there, and it's a mess. It's going to go from over here to the brown building. And then on the other end of the brown building, he's got some more posts set that you can see. And it's going to go over to the wood fence. So when they get out, they'll have a big old area to run around, but they won't be in my garden. Now all of that soil is for green stalks when I get them set up. That's Richard's hoopty that he enjoys playing with when he's up here. He don't have anywhere else to put it, so it lives back here with my stuff. That's just some more of the plants that are doing good. My hydrangeas are doing good over there down the back. I'll walk over there and show you those. This is some horsetail that I just keep water in there, and I didn't even put it in the greenhouse, and it made it. This is another Peggy Martin that I've rooted. I guess y'all can tell I like Peggy Martin roses. That's my big old Corinthian bell chimes that I love so much. And this is one of my favorite sitting places. One of the first things I did back here was put this in. Then I've got just this and that to sit in. I like that little seat with the tractor seats on it. This weathered the greenhouse and it looks pretty. And my hydrangeas are looking good. I've got 4 here. A little chimenea. And then, y'all see all the leaves? Y'all don't believe how many leaves that was in this yard. And see, they're still all in this bed. I've got to clean it up. Look over there at all the piles of leaves. Unbelievable how many leaves. Banana trees are coming back. More leaves, and more over yonder. And see, I've got hydrangeas right in there. And I got a gazillion leaves everywhere. My hammocks are out there. And I'll just show you. Look at these elderberries. I planted that one and it had berries last year, so I'm sure it will this year. And I'm hoping this one will flower and make me some berries this year, but they're looking good. More chimes. I've got wind chimes everywhere. I love wind chimes. My ginger, I cleaned it out, and probably in the next video, it's going to be big and pretty. You can see it coming back. All of this from that hydrangea over here will be ginger. And let's see what else over here that I wanted to show you. This is certainly not anything spectacular, but I want y'all to see these leaves. Y'all want to know why I haven't been making videos? Because this old lady has been raking leaves. Look at this. And we got to come, Troy's going to come with the tractor with the bucket on it, and I rake them in the bucket, and he'll drive out there and dump them. He can't get down and load them. His health won't let him. So I do all of that. Somebody's out there blowing the horn. I don't know who it is. Troy's out there. This is the hammocks in another little sitting area. My garlic chives have come back, and that's lemongrass that I'm going to plant that made it through the winter in the greenhouse. This is my Mexican mint marigold. It's coming back. Apple mint, it's coming back from the winter. It's been out here. There's onion chives down there, and I just planted sage in there. My sage froze. The oregano did great. I need to trim it, but it did survive, and I didn't even cover it. It's done well. This is wild plantain, which is very good medicinal stuff. I dug one up and put it in there, so I'm pampering that. I have 4 of these 4x4 beds that I'm going to work in that middle somehow with those ovals when we get the black things out. Then this one, my stevia came back here. That's French tarragon. It came back, and right over there in that clay pot is mint. And then I've got jalapeno peppers in that bed with a couple of tomatoes. And of course marigolds, tomatoes here, and I'm going to plant some green beans on this vine because you don't plant cucumbers and tomatoes together. This is mint in my feet and in my bed. More tomatoes. And these right up here at the front, right here on this side of the cages, that's those that I grew from just planting that little Tommy Toe tomato. So we'll see how they do. This is the ones that I planted from the tomato. The ones that are left, I'm just going to leave them there. Y'all can see what's blooming out here. That's lantana that the birds planted. My cast iron, I've got to trim all of the burnt leaves off from the winter, but it's got a lot of green left in it. It'll be pretty. This is all tomatoes. I'm down here. These are the ones I was pointing out to you that's got several in here that Cindy gave me. I may take some of them out and separate them, but I probably won't. And this is more volunteer 4 o'clock, so of course I have nothing in those beds yet. So I guess it's time to go back in the house now. Y'all about seen it all. But this is my joy out here. I absolutely love it. And I'm going to love it a whole lot more when it's clean. Okay, y'all, remember I told you that I'll get a bunch of ground beef and cook it with onion, sometimes onion and bell pepper, and then I have it ready when I want to make something. So I've probably got 2 pounds in here, but I'm just going to take out 1 pound because I just did it and put it in the ice box, so I'll freeze the rest of what I don't use. And I'm going to put it in my skillet. This is a just in case when I come in from work I need to cook something and I don't have anything ready, so y'all need to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm just going to make a goulash, which is going to have a little bit of corn in it, and some cabbage, some rice that I've cooked, some tomatoes. And it's going to be good because I'll make some cornbread to go with it. So let me get my rice out and I'll heat it. Well, no, I'm going to put my cabbage in first and wilt it down. We'll get this goulash gooed together here in a minute. I've got to clean my cabbage and then I'll be right back and get some shredded. Sorry. Get some of it shredded and get it all put together, let it cook a little bit, and it'll be ready to go. Oh, I would be putting onions in there, but I've already got some in that meat. And I'm not going to make a log rolling bunch here because Troy may eat some and he may not. And I don't want to have to eat it for 2 weeks, and it won't be good frozen, I don't think, with cabbage in it. So I'm just going to do probably 2 cups of cabbage. Maybe 1.5 cups. That's not a lot of cabbage, is it? And I like the cabbage. I'll take some of this in a thermos tomorrow for lunch at school. So when my meat gets hot, I'm going to put my cabbage in there and let it wilt some. Then I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes. And guess what? Onion and garlic powder. Ouch. And I'm going to add some corn to it. I like color in it and I like corn. And it's my goulash, so I'm going to goulash it up. Then I'll add the rice and toss it because I don't want it to be mush, and just let it heat through. So I'm just going to let my meat start sizzling a little bit and then we'll put the cabbage in. I'm going to go ahead and put some onion and garlic powder just to bump the flavor up a little bit. Y'all know how I am about that good stuff. And I know I don't have an apron on, but I just came in from school and got comfortable, so I decided that I would cook this time without an apron on. I'm going to go ahead and add my cabbage in there. Let it wilt some. And I would say that's about 2 cups. A pound of ground beef and an onion, and about 2 cups of shredded cabbage. And you could use, you know, some coleslaw mix if you have it. I like that because it's got all the purple cabbage in it and it's pretty. I'm going to go ahead and add this corn because it's frozen and I want it to cook a little bit. I'm going to wash that off. It's got a little bit of frozen on it. I don't want it to taste like a freezer. I buy this sweet corn at Costco in the big old bags, and it's so good. It's very good. Okay, I'm going to bring the camera over here where y'all can see what I'm stirring up. It's good. Okay, see, it's pretty with the green cabbage and the corn, and it's going to have the red tomatoes in it. You could put red bell peppers. You know, there's all kinds of could-dos, but my grandson just drove up out there. I heard that horn just blowing, and he's got his backpack blower on. He's got his own. He and the boy behind us, our adopted grandson, have a little landscape business started, and he's got his backpack blower, and he's going to get up on the roof and blow the gutters out. It's just organic diced tomatoes that I like. I get them at Costco. This is my stand pan. I'm going to tell y'all, I use this for so much. You can, I've told you before, you can use metal utensils in it and it does not hurt it, which I like to use wood anyway. But I really like my stand pan. It's got a big glass lid that goes with it. Now I don't want my cabbage real mushy, so I'm going to go ahead and add some rice that I cook. And I told y'all before, when I cook rice, I usually cook a bunch, and I either freeze it. And see, I've got a whole big old bag of cooked rice here. The reason it's brown looking is because that's about a cup and a half. Let's see how that does. I put onion soup mix in my rice when I cook it to give it an extra punch of flavor. And if I cook a big old pan, I'll put 2 of them in there. But you have to watch it because it's salty, and you want to be sure that you don't oversalt your rice. Okay, y'all, I've got this skillet, my cast iron skillet, with bacon grease in it, screaming hot in a 400-degree oven. I've got a cup and a fourth of cornmeal, 3/4 of a cup of flour, about a tablespoon of baking powders, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, regular sugar, and about 2 teaspoons probably of salt. And I'm going to put 2 eggs in it and enough milk to make it as runny as I want it. And I'm going to get it in this screaming hot skillet, and I'll show y'all what I do, exactly what my Aunt Audrey used to do. She would, I don't have any sweet milk, so I'm going to dilute some canned milk here, half and half. I'm going to put a cup of milk, and that may be plenty. And put my 2 eggs in it. I like 2 eggs. 1 will do it, but I put 2. Yeah, I want it a little runnier before I put my eggs in. Now I did put a little onion and garlic powder in here, and I just sprinkle some, so I'm not sure how much. If I was going to use this with jelly, I wouldn't put that in there, but because I like cornbread with butter and jelly. Sometimes, y'all know, I'll put a can of cream-style corn, chop up some onion and jalapenos in here, handful of cheese, and you've got jalapeno cornbread. But today I'm just making plain old cornbread. And the deal with getting this skillet hot like this, it's real crunchy on the bottom, and I like that crunchy bottom of it. So my oven's hot, and I'm going to get this in here, and then I'm going to slosh some of that bacon grease up on the top for flavor. My kids will call me and tell me they need the Aunt Audrey cornbread recipe. Alright, I'm going to go over there. I better get another hand because that's hot. Another handle. Get this in, and it'll take it about 20 minutes. I'm going to watch it, and then I dump it out on my wooden pizza peel, and that's what I leave here on the butcher block to cut it on. But anyway, I'll be back in a minute with some cooked cornbread and show y'all. I'll plate up some of the goulash and the cornbread, and I'll be ready to eat. And I'm going to set it for 20 minutes. And it may take a minute or 2 longer, but we'll check it out and see, and then we'll be back. And you know what else is good? Cornbread's good dunked in ketchup. Anything's good dunked in ketchup. I told y'all when April was little, she lived on pinto beans and peanut butter and jelly. And one day she put her some ketchup on her beans, and she said, "Mama, ketchup would make a piece of wood taste good." So that's been a saying at our house. I like my ketchup, y'all might not. That's okay, y'all don't know what's good. But I like ketchup on my cornbread sometimes too. But today it's going to have cornbread and goulash and sweet tea. Maybe some jalapeno peppers. I'll be back a little bit and show y'all what's going on. Then I got to get this edited where y'all can watch it, because I'm almost lying, because I said I'd get one up Monday, and it's 5:30 Monday evening and it ain't up yet. I work today. So y'all will get it today or tonight or in the morning. But okay, y'all, what I do, I flop it a little bit to make sure it hadn't stuck, and it hasn't. So I'm going to put it out on this board. And I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I cut it. And I'm going to plate some of it up, and I'll show y'all my plate with my goulash and my cornbread on it. Since I'm the one who cooked it, I like the crunchy part, and I do this every time. I get me a piece of that, and I put me some butter on it, and let that butter melt, and I'm going to have that before I have anything else. But I will put a kitchen towel over it so it won't dry out where I've cut it. But that is the best of the best cornbread. Delicious. I'll be back to show y'all a plate in a minute. Okay, y'all, I've got it plated up. Got some cornbread cut, and there's the goulash. And we're going to have supper. So I hope y'all learned something new, from gardening to cornbread to goulash. Y'all, I done had that big old slice of cornbread that was good and crunchy, so I'm not real hungry because I've tasted of the goulash 2 or 3 times. But anyhow, if I look windblown, the pretty backyard that I showed y'all turned into another ugly backyard. Richard blew the gutters and the roof off, and I probably had a dump truck load of leaves all over my pea gravel again, and he didn't think to blow that off. So I've been out with the rake getting it off of the gravel in case it rains. It's so hard to rake it all off. So I've got it clean again, and another humongous pile of leaves to haul out of there. But anyhow, thank y'all for hanging with me when I've missed a week. Thank you for watching the videos, for checking on me, for just being my YouTube family. I love my apron strings people. I pray for y'all. Some of you have requested prayer, and I specifically pray about that. I believe the Lord hears and answers our prayers. And so, you know, my mom always said he had 3 answers: yes, no, and wait a while. Sometimes we don't get the answer we want, but that don't keep me from talking to him. I'm going to get Troy a plate ready if he's ready to eat. And I'll be back again, and hopefully in 2 or 3 days with another. I've got a good dessert that I want to make in case y'all want to make it for Easter. So I'll try to get back and get a couple of things done in time for you to use it if that's what you want to do on your Easter table. Happy Easter week. The good Lord bless y'all, and I'll be back with something else good.